What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Jonny G in the morning. It's a little offshoot of Streamers in Depth. If you guys don't know, I kind of have two different things going here. I do have the Streamers in Depth. That is the channel that you clicked on right now. Mainly what I do on there is I like to sit down and I like to talk to a couple of streamers where they're still smaller streamers, but their community is growing really well. And I like to sit down and get to know who they are as a person, not just as an entertainer, not just as your streamer, but as someone who actually puts the effort in, like their real name, where they come from. So I like to hit them up, see if they like to be a part of the Streamers in Depth, where we can sit down. And we usually make them last about an hour or so. And then I have this section here, which is Jonny G in the morning, which is something I'm going to be doing solo mostly. I might be bringing some people on every so often where we can sit down and have a conversation. And that's the segment that I've always wanted to do, where it was me solo, kind of talking about the local news that's happening. We can talk about some true crime stuff. We can talk about cults. We can talk about Area 51, the conspiracy theories. It's things that I just love to talk about. So another reason I'm going to be doing this video as well is I need to be checking my mic levels, because the last two videos I put up, the mic levels were they were wonky, dude. Like, for some reason, I don't know, everything sounded good in the preview. Like the last one I did with the bros that stream with Matt and Oz, on my side and on their side, everything looked good, but when we put it out on YouTube, like, my mic volume was very low. So we are going to be kind of testing that as well. So yeah, guys, let's get into the video right now. So if you are ever listening to your favorite streamer, watching them, and they're like, hey, just so you guys know, I'm going to be doing this podcast with this guy named Jonny G on Streamers in Depth, you're probably wondering, who in the fuck is this Jonny G guy, right? And if you haven't checked me out, I have a Twitch as well, twitch.tv/JonnyG1246. Feel free to stop by anytime. So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a background of how long I've been in the stream game, how long I've been doing recordings, and just kind of being who I want to be, man. And so you guys will kind of get a little background on that. I won't make this video that long. It's just gonna be kind of an intro as to who I am as a person. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, guys, it pretty much all started when I was in high school, dude. I knew I wanted to do radio. It was something that was always dear in my heart. I just loved listening, not so much just the music, but to actually sit down and listen to the guy doing the radio. I was like, God, dude, like one day I want to do that. That's something I've always dreamt of. I went to go do a job shadow with a local radio personality here named Arnie Wheeler. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a great radio personality. He really is. So I got to sit down and kind of hang out with him. I got to see how his screens were. I got to see his mix board. I got to see everything he had in there. And like in an instant, I was like, that is exactly what I want to do. So I ended up going to Lake Superior College over in Duluth, Minnesota. It was only like a 8 or 9 month program, I want to say. The second I walked in that studio, it was just like a dream come true. Like, just sitting down in front of dual screens, something about having the microphone in front of my face, it all felt right. And I was doing really well, man. I did a lot of extra credit. I wanted to be there. When I was in high school, I didn't like school. It wasn't my thing. And it was just something that I got bored, and I would go out and I would party and I would do things other than study, and I just didn't care. But when I got to college, it was like a whole nother ball game. I ended up going and working at a laundromat / car wash with some great bosses. They thought it was a great thing too, and I got to do a couple of things for them while I was in school, just doing little side commercials for them. And that was the other thing I really enjoyed when I was in college doing that, was I got to write my own commercials. We got to mess around with the voice changer. So I was doing the girl parts and the guy parts, and I did an Adam and Eve commercial with a little whip in there. And if you guys don't know what Adam and Eve is, it's like a little porn shop. But it was a lot of fun, just being able to go in there and just be creative and be who you want to be. We got dual studios, so you got to sit down and actually talk to people, and that's kind of my little bit of background on being in the radio and being in the whole podcast scenario of feeling just amazing. So, and then we kind of ran into a little problem when we were there. I ended up having to move out of the place I was living at. There was a situation where I was told no parties at this household. I just got to school. Like, I didn't really know anybody. So I decided I was just going to go stay with a couple of friends. A party happened at the house. I got blamed for it. I ended up kind of living out of my car and just doing online classes on my mini laptop that I had for school behind my work and sleeping in my car. And I think the way I got caught was I was at work, and my bosses caught me brushing my teeth at work and asking me what the hell was going on. So I had to sit down and explain it to them, just be like, hey, I got kicked out of the house, and I've just been kind of coming back here so I can do my online classes that I have. Like, yeah, we've been noticing that your vehicle's behind the work. God behold, man, they had an apartment attached to work, and they're just like, hey, you know what? If you want, you can live here, stay here as long as you want. We'll just make a deal with you. I did car detailing for them, so as long as you're willing to pretty much be on call during business hours, where if we need something done, even if you have the day off, if you can come in and do it, hey, I'm more than willing to do that. You guys are being nice enough to let me stay in your house or in their apartment that they had there. So that was a blessing in disguise right there. I got to stay in school. I got to still do what I loved. And just the people that I got to meet, of like how nice these people were. There is still positive people in the world. And I wanted to bring that into the radio aspect of my life too, is letting people know, man, like, I know a lot of shit is crazy right now. In the world, there's so much negativity, and I've always been that person where I can't stand that, because there are good people in the world, but nobody wants to pretty much either admit it or nobody wants to see it. They got these blinders on, and all they see is shitty, negative things in the world, and there's something I don't want people to think that that's all there is, because there's really not. There's really not all negative things. You look at the right places, you meet the right people, and people, they'll surprise you. Some people will actually surprise you, and I wish a lot of people can look at the world that way. Going forward with the story of in college, that the people that let me stay kind of in their apartment that they had there, I was more than happy to be there. They were running into some issues, and I won't label any names, but they were running into some money issues, and they said they might have to sell their house. And they actually asked me, they're just like, are you okay with it? Like, if we move in the apartment with you, because we might have to sell our house, and so we can stay financially stable. First thing in my head was like, oh my God, like, this is your guys' place. Like, you guys do what you have to do. I will figure something out. I've already done it before, right? I can get something figured out here. So I was kind of at a crossroads. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, shit, I don't want to invade their privacy. I will probably tell them I'm going somewhere, and then, end up staying on the street again. But once again, dude, I got thrown a little life bone, and my sister calls me up, and she's like, hey, I heard what's going on. Is everything okay? And she wasn't fully aware of my situation that I had when I was over there, but she kind of heard through the grapevine about a few things. So So I was like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm getting everything figured out and trying to see if maybe I can find another place to live, or I got to see what I can swing. So my sister tells me, well, if you need a job, you can, I have a job for you in about 9 months. And I was like, I have a job. I don't know what you're talking about. I might have to find a different school, I might have to go somewhere else. But I have a job, And she goes, no, you idiot. Like, I have a job for you in 9 months. And like, it didn't even click in my brain. Me and my sister, we used to have a bet about who was going to have a kid first. And it didn't trigger in my head at all. And then finally, like, I was silent on the phone, and I was just like, oh, wait, are you pregnant? And she's like, yeah, you dummy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, why don't you transfer schools and come live with me and my brother-in-law, Carl? And I was like, that would actually really help me out a lot. So I had to go to my school, which, by the way, the very first time ever in my life that I did very well in school, I happened to be on the dean's list, and I would help my instructor out quite a bit, doing some extra credit on my part, and he was working on some projects too, and apparently he liked some of my ideas, so he's like, hey, would you mind if I use that? I'll give you a little extra credit. Nah, not at all. Go ahead and use it. So I had to go tell him, say, hey, I ran into some issues. I might have to transfer schools. He did everything he could to get me to stay. I wanted to stay. I had my own little, external hard drive with all my stuff on there, our resume of radio. But times get tough, and sometimes you got to make the decisions. And I ended up leaving school and going and transferring over to Minneapolis Tech. It was more of like, it was just like radio broadcasting. The schooling I was at over in Lake Superior was actually called Media Study and Production. So I was doing like some radio and film, and it was a great time. So they told me they had a program. I got to transfer some of my credits over, and we make our trip over to Minneapolis Tech. My very first day of class, they call all of the radio students to like the office area and let us know, hey, we just want to be up front with you guys and just let you know what's happening here. We actually are cutting the program from the budget. So now I transferred schools wanting to do, as good, if not better than where I was. And I get hit with, they are dropping the program from the budget. I already paid tuition. I did all this. I got my books. So right there, it was a little bit of a slap in the face of, oh shit, now what am I going to do? So I ended up, just kind of working a full-time job. I was moving around here and there. And it was one of the most difficult things because I was doing something that I loved. And now I can't do it anymore. Now it's just gone. And I know a lot of people were telling me, hey, just go back over to Lake Superior. Go do what you got to do over there. But I've already transferred my credits. I had nowhere else to go. I was like, I'll do what I can, and I can figure something out. I want to say I was probably 20 at this time. Excuse me. And all I did, man, was just work full-time jobs. I would move here and there, from Wisconsin over to Minnesota, back to Wisconsin. And, I finally got to a place where I was like, fuck, maybe I'm not going to be able to, continue my career. And then I move over to a place called Eau Claire, Wisconsin. If you guys don't know where that is, it's a pretty decent town. I want to say it's like 160,000 people. It has to be something like that. But I move over to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, get an apartment, and just like fate should have it, I'm there for within a month. All of a sudden, I'm working my factory job, just doing what I do. And then I hear an ad, and then I also read about it later about how there was a radio station looking for on-air personality. And it was almost like, all right, I want this. I want this so bad. I'm going to apply. I call them up, apply, and everything sounded really good. Like, they're just like, oh, okay, do you have any background? So I kind of explained, yeah, I went to school over in Lake Superior College, and, I did media study and production. Well, did you graduate? Now, that was a question I kind of figured would be popping up, but I already had my story of what I'm going to be telling them. I'm just going to say, hey, I didn't graduate, but I have an hour of radio resume. My instructor said anyone can email him, and he will definitely vouch for me. Is there anything, that I can do to convince you? Because all I want is let me in your studio for 1 hour. Let me in there for 1 hour, and I will have a complete hour show done for you, ready to rock and roll. It's all I need. All I need is 1 hour. And once again, everything sounded great. They said they'd call me back, let me know. They're going to go talk to the bigwig. Never heard back. So once again, it's just a little slap in the face there. So here we are, not doing radio, not really doing anything but working. I'm 27 at the time now. I was there for, I think I was in Eau Claire for about 4 years or so. And then I think I want to say year three in Eau Claire, I get hit with a very dumb idiot decision that I had. I ended up getting hit with a DUI and thought I was going to lose my job. Thought a lot of things were going to go bad. Took them over a year, I would say, to convict me of what I did. And as I was sitting at home, unable to drive because I didn't have a license at the time, I started to really sit and think, what is something I can do in my time versus going out, getting hammered, being this stupid dude, drinking all the time? Well, I love video games. I love entertaining, and I've heard of streaming. So I started looking a little bit more into that. So I ended up streaming and fell in love with it. This is the only thing I could do. I couldn't go out. I couldn't do anything. I was stuck in my house. I was on a no drinks. I couldn't do anything. So I ended up doing some streaming. Now, it grew to a point where it was something I was doing it every single day for about 5 or 6 hours. This is all I wanted to do. And it started off with just a little coffee table with a stack of DVDs. I went and bought a PlayStation 4 camera, and I was playing with that in my face. And then I also had a little holder for my cell phone so I can sit there and read chat. I didn't have all the fancy, what we have now, Streamlabs OBS, where I didn't have the notifications popping up, I didn't have anything fancy like that. I was just playing on my PlayStation, doing what I do, and realizing that, man, I really do love doing this. This is great. Went out, bought a gaming laptop so I can kind of upgrade a little bit. Got a little bit better camera, and everything was just going so well. And then I ended up moving back home. I wasn't really going anywhere with my job. I've been at that job for 4 years, and I kind of hit that glass ceiling. I think it was time to move on, and it was just something I ended up moving back home. And here's the part of the story where I don't want anybody here to think I'm trying to tell this whole sad story to feel bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. The best possible thing that ever could have happened to me was getting in trouble when I was younger, growing older and growing a little bit wiser, and just building off of the love that I have for radio, podcast, and entertaining. Because now, here I sit, have a house, bought a newer vehicle, got a nice PC. I got a studio in my house now. But I think if I would have kept going the way I was when I was younger, man, I'm 30 now. I am 30 years old. I've been in the stream game for 4 years. I did the first Streamers in Depth probably over a year ago. I did 5 episodes. 5 episodes of it. And I told myself I want to do at least one a month. And I failed on that. I failed on doing the one a month Streamers in Depth podcast. I ask myself every day why. Why did I do that? Well, once again, my older version of myself came back. All I wanted to do, man, was go out and party and do this and do that. And I'm telling you, that's not the route to go. Hitting 30 years old has cleared my head so much. So when I tell people, hey, the reason I started streaming, and this is true, this is still true. You can see it on my highlights on Twitch. You won't see the big beard. You'll see it was my very first highlight, if you go check that out, of why I first started streaming. I first started streaming because I wanted everybody to know that if you feel depressed, feel lonely, you feel like there's no one there to listen to you, that's not true, man. I was there. That is the exact reason why I started the stream, is because I wanted people to realize that there is someone there to listen to you. I didn't start it just because, solely because I love entertaining, I love the radio. That's part of it. But a big portion of it, a huge portion, was I want people to realize that you're not alone, man. You're not alone in depression. You're not alone in anxiety. You have someone that will listen to you, and I've wanted to be that person for so long. And if you watch a couple of my Streamers in Depth, I have asked people, how do you measure success in your stream? It's a weird question. It's a weird question to have. A lot of people, they'll kind of measure it by, follows or how many subs they have, how many people are viewing all the time. I have said since day one, I don't care if I have 1 viewer in there, 5 viewers, 100 viewers, 200 viewers. All I want to do is I want to be able to make a difference in somebody's life. And I can measure solely on that aspect alone, because I have had messages get sent my way of just saying, hey, I want to thank you so much for actually sitting down and listening to my problems. You don't know me, and I don't really know you personally, but I needed someone to talk to, and you were there. And I just want to say thank you so much. That right there, I measured that as a success story, because that is what I strive for. So if you're watching this video at all, or if you've made it this far in this video, I gave you a little background about who I am, how I started, and what it is that I love to do. We're still going strong on Twitch. 4 years, man. 4 years on there, and now I'm really hitting the podcast game hard. If you're listening to this, know that there is someone out there that cares. Know that there is someone out there that will be there for you. You can always hit me up on my Instagram, Gaming with Jonny G 1246. Discord will be down below. I'm someone you can reach out to, and I am more than happy to sit and listen, because I've been through things too. That's part of the reason why I told you a lot of the background story. I have been through more things than I think you would even want to know. I left some things out because, of course, they might be coming up on a couple of the podcasts anyway. Hit 30. I wanted to turn my life around. I started working out. I lost over 40 pounds. I got a studio now. Got a house. You know, it's a great feeling just knowing that when something clicks in your head of just like enough's enough. You know, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to strive to be. If anyone comes into my stream or watches the podcast, feel free to reach out. But if you take anything away from what I say, I really want you to walk away with, wow, there is still some positive shit in the world. It's not all negative. And I'm not alone. There are others out there like me. And there are people that will listen. I want you to understand that it's never too late to change your life for the better. Even though you think, oh my God, I'm 25 or I'm 30. There's no way I can turn it around. It's bullshit. It's straight bullshit. You can turn it around. You can be who you want to be. If you have the patience and you have the drive to do what you want to do, anything is possible. You know, like I said, I measure the success of just having a simple message sent to me of you helped me. That's how I measure that. I've been on Twitch for 4 years. I have a little over 400 followers. I am 100% cool with that. Because as long as I still get a message every so often, and I do, of someone just reaching out and say, hey, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I came in, I talked to you on your stream, or I messaged you on your Instagram. I was going through a tough time, and you helped me through that. That right there is the reason I do this. And that, my friends, is a little insight of who Jonny G is. I hope you guys swing by the stream sometime. I hope you check out the podcast. I got some good ones coming up. And I just kind of want to let you guys in my world a little bit about me. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next video.